finally able to get back to this piece. I sprained my ankle really bad a few weeks ago, and I have not been able to be standing a super long time. So here we are. I have gone through my pencils. I have the Caran Dache Luminance pencils. So I chose these to do details on Mr. Cardinal here. I'm gonna start with that guy. And what he needs is he just needs some details. So what I do is I lay this tracing paper down so that my arm can rest on it. And I don't smear anything else. I want the background on this piece to be a little darker than I have it now, but I'm not ready. I want to put the background, or the details in rather, on these birds, because that gives me an indication of how dark I want that background to be. And I want to balance it, I guess is the word. So right now I'm just trying to bring in some shadows and some highlights with the colored pencils over the pan pastel. And also their feet will be going in. So here we go. Still going to be somewhat loose of a piece, so I'm not going to get super accurate on my details. I just need to get some more details in here, kind of make it pop a little better. So I'm trying to put in some shadow, make him have more shape. It's one thing I love about the pan pastels, is it lets me put in the color, and it's like painting, so it keeps me loose. And probably should get his little feet in. I don't know, I might wait on this. I'm gonna wait on the feet. Let's just stick to the feathers. Okay, so here we go. I mean, it's not quite as big of a deal, but if I run my hand on here instead of the tracing paper, the oils in my hand are gonna get on that background, and that's gonna affect how the pan pastel goes down. I mean, when I go to put more background in, if there's greasiness on this paper, it's gonna affect it, and it really could mess it up. So that's why I try, even out on the background here, try to have the tracing paper take over. Just trying to indicate like that they have individual, their wing feathers are these hard individual feathers. So I'm just trying to indicate that it doesn't have to be super accurate. It just needs to tell your brain that, oh gosh, there's some stiff feathers there. And I want some highlight going on. I like to use color for highlight quite often. This is more of an orangish color. And I'll bring in some yellow as well. I didn't grab my yellow or my bright orange, but I can do that. So I'm gonna add some more of this. The breast feathers are softer, so I just need enough variation in color and light and dark to give that a little more definition and indication of what that is. The branches are going to get leaves because these guys are all in their breeding plumage. They're bright and shiny and beautiful, so they can attract the ladies. Now, actually, the blue jays don't change color. You know, I haven't studied them. I'm going to guess. You'd have to, if you were a bird expert, you would know. I do not claim to be a bird expert, though I do enjoy learning about them. So if you know, let me know. Do the blue jays get brighter in the breeding part of the year. The others tend to get a little brighter. Now, cardinals, bluebirds, they're already so bright that, you know, it's not going to change a lot. Obviously, the goldfinch does. The goldfinch is so drab in the winter. Some people, for many years, I thought they migrated because they get so gray and drab in the winter. They almost look like a house finch with a little bit different markings. And then I learned that they were, I learned from someone who knew birds better and said, oh no, they don't migrate. They just turn drabby. And then in the spring, they look blotchy, like the summer rains or the spring rains are washing off the gray, and there's this bright blotchy yellow underneath of them. I just love that about the finches, the goldfinch. They're the ones that happens to. But the bluebirds, I feel like, get brighter blue in the spring when they're breeding. You know, they gotta look their best to attract a mate, you know. So, and then the poor cardinals molt. Oh my goodness, they start molting after they're done raising babies. And, oh, sometimes they just their heads become totally black. They have black skulls, and they just don't even have a feather on their head. Now, sometimes it's because mites get to them and they have the disease, but they do molt. So they look terrible. So I also need some more of this. They almost have like a burgundy. Sometimes I even put a little bit of purple, dark, dusky purple in this darker area of the cardinal. And the wings, or the tail feathers too, they have pretty stiff feathers. So I'm kind of liking that. I could use a little more darkness through here. I don't know if the details on these birds will just be one video or if I'll shoot several. I don't want to get them too long for you. I'm over here getting some brighter orange and even a little bit of yellow out of my pencils. It's not quite as bright as I want, but maybe that's a good thing. Put a little bit of highlight on his beak. Like I said, I like using bright colors for highlights instead of always using white. Depends on the subject, what I'm trying to achieve, but I like that pop of brightness coming through. Okay, and then I'm going to get some of this bright orange in here too. Let's get a little up in here. And then I like that. I like his brightness. I still, like I said, I'm kind of wanting a little bit of purple, so I'm going to reach back behind me and grab a dusky purple that I have. Yeah, a little dusky purple. And throw a little bit in here. You may not be able to see as much on the video, but I can see it from where I am. So, like I said in an earlier video for this piece, this will be on one of our pens. So if you are a bird lover and you like using a nice pen, my husband makes some pretty awesome pens. And these little guys will be on a pen in the near future. As soon as I finish, I will get them ready. I'll put it on some pens. It'll be photographed with my high-res camera. It'll be put on a sticker. The sticker will be wrapped around the tube, and then we'll pour it in epoxy. A little more to it than that, but that's the base order of events on how we get those pens done. Yeah, that's enough of the purple. Now bring in a little more red again. Yeah, see how that purple just makes a nice shadow? There we go. Now, this is something neat now that I can do. There it is. Pastels. That's what I started all this with, right? I want a little bit of highlight. I can pull that in now with these pastels. That's why it's like painting. I just love it. And then put a little bit tracing paper on this beak. Maybe a little too much on there. I'm gonna have to go a dab of yellow. Didn't quite get enough. Neat thing about this is, if I do this and I don't care for it, I can do several things. I can come in, notice it got a little on the black. I could come in and erase it out a bit, or I can come in with my orange. And then, take a look at this guy. I think we could do red through here. Next, some black. Now I'm using a mixture. This is a Prismacolor. The Prismacolor is just a tad harder. Still a soft core I'm using. I could also use my very thin Prismacolor, which I probably will towards the end of details. The very thin is a harder core, can sharpen and stay to a harder point, and also doesn't lay down as much color, but I can get it sharper. Feathers up in there into the red instead of the other way around. There we go. I like that. And then I could pull out a white. Whites you need to make sure you clean off if you've used them in other areas. And see, now that's actually blending that. I've actually, see how there's black on the tip. I have to then clean it off, or I can sharpen it. And then, oh, this was a blender. I thought it was just the white. That's why it wasn't making it bright. There's the white. Let's see if that does what I want it to do. If not, a little bit. It's adding a little bit in there. Oh yeah. I want that nice highlight. The next thing I can do, clean this up. I can also add, oh, I know what I can add. I've got some pastel pencils, and I have a white. Oh, where have I put them? Oh, they're in a container upstairs, so I may have to do that later. I can also just add a tiny bits of pastel. And I like that. Just some highlight. I'll probably come in with that. You can get pastel pencils, and then they're going to be almost chalk-like, and you can draw with them. So I'm kind of happy with him. I think he will be A happy Mr. Cardinal. He said I was happy, and then I decided to add some highlight here. Again, if I don't like what I do right now, I can come back in, I can erase it, I can go over it. I'm going to add a tad bit of yellow. So that brightens that up. It's still a highlight, but it brightens it. And oh yes, I like that. Very much like that. But just a tad up here. He looks like he's ready to go off into the world and do his thing. Mr. Cardinal. Okay, so next up is our little Mr. Bluebird. He looks a little angry. I have some pencils set aside in addition to this bright orange I also used on Mr. Cardinal. I've already picked these pencils just to make it easier for doing a video, but here's my colors for Mr. Bluebird, as well as my black. Again, we're going to come in here. I'm going to get his eye kind of crisped up. And also his beak. I'll get a little attention here. And then I'll also add some more color. And then looks a little angry when he's straight on like this, doesn't he? And then I'm gonna go in with some blues. So we're gonna, they don't have much blue up underneath here, just a little bit, just almost like a little mustache he's got going there. And with him being straight on, we get to see a little more of his belly. I'm gonna get in my darker blue here. It's a little purplish blue. And then just trying to indicate, again, some feathers. Let's get the and then, of course, these tail feathers. They have some sharpness to them. Okay. And I might come back on top with some pastels. That's why this is multimedia, because I do tend to come back in with a variety of colors. And the bluebirds, their heads are just so blue, just so beautifully blue. Now, if I wanted to, I could maybe add him in some fluff sticking up. Now, this is the thing too. He is rather fluffy here. And fluffy usually indicates that they're cold. But I like fluffy birds. I think they're cute. So we're just gonna say that's what he looks like. And if he's cold a little bit, then so be it. I like this nice little bit of white around his eyes. And birds usually have like a ring around their eye. So I need to get some of that in. Their eyelid, basically. There we go. And this in. That's why that white is there. And it's kind of, if you really zoom down on it, it's all these little pieces. It's little like marks, but you can't see that. Mr. Cardinal should have a little bit of that. You can't see the detail of it on this size of a piece. So, but if I was just doing an eye, birds' eyes are fascinating. If you just drew a close-up of a bird's eye, absolutely fascinating. Let's get some of this other color in there. Looks like he's got a bowl haircut going, doesn't he, with some bangs. Not sure that's the look for him. There we go. It really is the pressure, the way you use a pencil, you know, a sharp line, quick stopping can give you the feather marks. I mean, it's a technique to how you use your pencil, not just the color. So when I teach kids how to use colored pencils, it's tougher for them to, they just want to color everything in. And there's a shading that you mess with. Okay. Oh, he's looking cute. Again with the white. These are my pastel soft tools. I have, you can probably barely see over here on this side, I have paper. It's just brown paper. I can come in and clean that off, and then I'll come in and play around with, you know, too much. Oh no, I ruined it. Whatever am I going to do? Here, let's see. Go with the brighter. Yeah. That. Let's do a little bit of a swipe of color over here, and a swipe of color through here. Okay. Alrighty, now let's get that orange in. I'm gonna put the blue pencils aside. I also have this little scratch piece that I use for testing colors on. That is under my actual piece, and you can't see the edge of it. It's just the way the camera is. I don't mind if you see it, but that's where I test my colors with the pencils to decide, like, oh, which one do I want to use in what situation, to remember what color I grabbed and what it's gonna look like. So when you see me kind of off camera for a minute, like not doing anything on camera, it's because I'm testing pencils or doing something like that. So what I'm doing here is blending in the blue going to the orange, and there being to make him look rounded, he needs to be shadowed. So the darker color goes along the edge and works its way out. He also tends to have a little shadowing area in here that I will just kind of scritchy back and forth to indicate shadowy bits of feathers. And again, these are very soft feathers on their belly. They are the insulation feathers. They aren't their flight feathers. And so they are soft and fluffy and can be fluffed out considerably when they are cold. They can also fluff them to make themselves look bigger. If there is a someone challenging their territory or hurting their family. Bluebirds are very good parents. The dads help with everything. The cardinals too. I don't know much about the jays. I would have to research them. But I do know that the bluebirds and the cardinals are both really, really good bird parents. There are some birds that are terrible parents. Cowbirds are just terrible parents. But the bluebirds, both the male and the female, help with the raising of the young. And the cardinals, the male cardinal actually finishes raising the young after they've fledged, while the female goes and starts another brood. And then once the babies from the previous brood are good on their own, then the dad comes over to the mom and helps feed her and feed the babies that have hatched of the second brood. And so it's neat to see the daddy cardinals like taking care of those new fledglings and helping them find their way in the world. So it's so cool. It's neat to see all of that. Cowbirds, I mentioned them, how terrible they are. I guess there's a place. I have to ask God about it. Like, why do we have cowbirds? I guess when I'm in heaven, I won't really care anymore. But they lay their eggs in other birds' nests, often a cardinal, because cardinals are good parents, and they are similar in size. And I have seen a cardinal feeding a cowbird baby because they don't kick the egg out, and then the cowbirds will watch, and if like a human knows it's happened and removes the cowbird egg, or the parents remove the cowbird egg or poke it and kill it, the cowbirds will come and destroy the whole nest. So don't go in there and think, oh, I have to help them, I should take out this cowbird egg. No, because the cowbirds will come back. They come back and check, and they will destroy the cardinals as well. So it's kind of sad that they don't do it. So, but anyway, that's cowbirds for you. So, but I guess, you know, there's mosquitoes too. I'm not sure what the point of those was either, but it's God's creation. You guys probably don't know what's the point of some of my creation when I'm making art. So, you know, I'm not to question the creator of the universe when even what I make is sometimes causing questions. So now it's bright orange again. I've really been wanting to do some foxes again because these rusty oranges are so pretty. So I have such a long list in my head right now. You wouldn't believe it if I told you of pieces I want to do. I mean, for me, I think it'd be a great vacation to just like stay home and work on artwork uninterrupted by anyone for days on end. But then poor family would be like, what is wrong with you? So alrighty, there he is, nice and fluffy and bright and pretty. I am gonna come over here and get a lighter peach. My pencil's back behind me. And oops, daisy, can you hear me? There's a peach. I believe there is a tint of these other ones. Here, let's try these two. I have this, this is a pale kind of a peach, and this is a actual peach. So I'm going to test them off to the side and see. Yeah, this one is too flesh looking, but this one is more that light orange. A way to burnish some of these colors is to come in with a lighter color. That's a way to get rid of that texture if I don't want the texture. I can also change the color, but it also gives it kind of a painterly type of look. So I'm gonna come through here with some of that. And then I'm still kind of wanting some lighter up in there. So I might come in with some white. But in the meantime, their little bellies are white. I have a little bit of peach in there, but this is a silvery color. And then I also have a French gray. So I'm just gonna add a bit of this in, just to give a little shading. And his feet too, I need to get his feet in. I need to decide how I want them to look before I just start coming in with the colored pencils. That's why I stopped on the cardinals. Probably either do a video just on the feet, or I will, there we go. Get a little bit over here. Now, just like I did with Mr. Cardinal over there, I came in with some pan pastel on top of the colored pencil. It can soften them. It can, let's get some shadow down under here. Alrighty. So again, let me lay these over here. We're gonna need them for Mr. Blue Jay. I have this, I got blue on there. Where's my white one? That was my white one. We'll just clean it. Alrighty, so I think I want to go with this super pale, maybe this yellow? No, probably this. Let's try a little bit of this. Gives me a bit of a highlight and a softness. And a tiny bit more over here. There. Yes. Look how fluffy and soft now he looks. So yeah, that's looking good. Looks good. Looks good. And I'm going to do a little more of the bright blue in here. Kind of like that. And more up in here. Okay, well, that's enough for now. I don't want this video to get so long that you're about to pull your hair out. Throw a little color in his little tail here. And then I will continue with Mr. Blue Jay.